Hi and welcome back to another lesson on easy guitar chords. So far we've been looking at the C major chord, or C, and we've been looking at the G major chord, or G, and we learned that in 3-finger positioning. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to look at the D major chord. Okay, so the D major chord looks and sounds like this. Okay, so let's look at it in a little bit more detail. So we have the following notes. We have the first finger, for the moment, on fret 2 of the G string. We then have the third finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. And finally we have the second finger, or middle finger, on the 2nd fret of the E string. So all 3 of those together look like this. And where you strum from for this chord to begin with is the D string, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4th string in, or 1, 2, 3, 4th string from the lowest, 3rd string from the lowest point. Okay. Now the reason why, if I strum all the strings, it sounds pretty horrible, and if I strum even so less strings, I get the chord, but I want a bit of bass resonance in there. Okay, so that's why I'm strumming from the D string. Okay, so obviously there are other ways of fretting this chord. So we talked about various ways of fretting G, and we can also fret the D with different fingers. So instead of fingers 1, 3 and 2, I can fret the D with fingers 2, little finger 4 and 3. And there are practical reasons for that later on that you might want to look into, and I will talk about in future videos. But today we're focusing on easy guitar chords and easy ways of playing them. Okay, so let's talk about connections. So we have this D chord here, and it should sound nice and warm, nothing kind of blocking it, fingers on their tips, next to the fret line, pushing nice and hard. That's one of the key components. The other component is this thumb staying in position. You don't want it moving around or underneath, because you're going to lose the consistency with your chords. It's like the ground. If you've got the ground there and you jump up in the air and the ground is still there, when you land you'll be nice and happy. But if you have the ground there and you jump up in the air and then someone starts shaking the ground, as you land you're going to feel pretty uneasy. So it's the same with fingers. If your thumb's moving about, they feel pretty uneasy because they don't really know if they're going to fit correctly. So keep that thumb in position. Okay, so let's talk about connections now. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect between G, D and C. So the way we're going to do this is with that slightly fuller 4-fingered G. We're going to connect with that, and we're going to look at something called again pivoting, but not this time with shape, but with a note. So I've got my G here, which hopefully you've been perfecting over the past few days. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to D by keeping this 3rd finger in position. So everything else comes off and it's still there, and I'm going to add the rest of the D chord on. Okay, and that just makes it nice and easy and grounds my finger. I don't have to do that, I can take it off, but it's nice to have it kind of grounded in position for me. Okay. Now from here you'll notice that there's a small diagonal in the D, okay, which we find in the G and in the C. Now in the C there's actually the same fingers being used. So if you can, keep those diagonal points as you move. All you have to do is just add on this finger here. So the diagonal is moving over from this D point, from this D chord, into C without going kind of twisting and trying to find it again, which you will do at the beginning, promise you it will happen. But eventually, when you move those diagonal points, the mini shapes that are in D will also stay for C. Okay, so we have the following chords. G with the 4 fingers, 1, 2, 3 and 4. We have the D with fingers 1, 2, 3 rather than 2, 3, 4. And we have C. Okay, so what we're going to do is strum 4 times on each chord. Are you ready? after 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Pivoting, make sure you pivot into C. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try that again. And what you want to try and do is make sure you're strumming from the correct string points. So for the G chord, from the E string, for the D chord, from the D string, and for the C chord, from the A string. Okay, so let's try again. 4 strums on each chord after 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there are 3 chords for you, 3 easy guitar chords, G, D, and C. Now a good thing to do at home would be to practice moving between these chords with different fingers. Maybe 2, 3, 4, into 2, 3, 4, into 1, 2, 3. Just to get used to different ways that your muscles can be put down, okay? Because if you get used to it there, when you get to slightly higher, more complex chords, you'll find that your fingers do what they want without you realizing, suddenly my fingers can fret this chord. I didn't realize, okay? And it's because of the practice that you do here, okay? So G, G major, our new chord for today, which is D major, and C, which we learned in the first lesson, C major. Have fun with that, and I will see you once again for another lesson on easy guitar chords.